So, welcome. Today, we're joined by Naomi, who is one of our mothers who graduated from Thrive, and we're going to learn about Naomi's experience inside Thrive today. So, welcome, Naomi.
Yeah, so I joined Thrive because over the last few years I had been experiencing some health challenges that had come on suddenly during a period of really intense stress. And over time these symptoms were worsening and they came along with massive fatigue and reactions to food and lots of other symptoms that were really hard to manage, very uncomfortable, and also really embarrassing because at times my face would flush and it would even swell at times. And I just didn't know what was going on. So I was going to different health practitioners over the years and people like homeopaths, osteopaths, even my own GP saying, look, I have this, that, and the other. Based on my own research, I think it's this condition. And I really wasn't getting very far. I'd be told, take this, see how you get on. Or most people really didn't know what I was talking about. And I had worked with Ashling yourself in the past, and I knew that you were a fountain of knowledge. And when I saw I knew myself from my own reading that I was dealing with adrenal fatigue. And when your email came through about how adrenal fatigue was so common in mothers, I thought, okay, I have to join Thrive. This is speaking to me. This is what I'm dealing with, but maybe a more extreme version than just adrenal fatigue. I had let it get so bad by not prioritizing my health that it had gotten to the stage where I had to cut out so many types of foods because I was just reacting to everything. And I knew at the heart of it, it was stress. That it was really, I didn't know what the mechanism was. I thought, okay, maybe it's parasites, maybe I'm dealing with mold. I don't know what's going on. But I knew it was all coming together to create this kind of inflammatory storm in my body. So it was just when I joined Thrive, there was such a sense of relief because when I spoke to Ashling and said, look, I think I have this condition and nobody's been able to help me with it. And you said, yeah, I'm familiar with that. And I know some supplements that can help you and which foods to take out, which foods to add in, and what can help your system get back into balance. I just felt so relieved that somebody actually knew what I was dealing with. I'm actually getting quite emotional now because it's been such a struggle for me over the last 3 years. And just those steps that the initial steps that I took were so massive. I was able to get off antihistamines. I'd been taking antihistamines daily. For some reason, my symptoms get worse in the winter, and I presumed that's why I thought maybe it was mold, or I didn't know what was going on. Maybe it was just the food because I had cut out certain food groups like fruit, thinking that fruit sugar was bad for my health or causing weight gain. Um, so yeah, I was able to cut out the antihistamines, so that was massive. Yeah, so it was massive for me to not have to take antihistamines anymore. I had been taking them daily for the whole winter and pretty much every winter for the last 3 years because my symptoms seemed to get worse in the winter. Um, One of the symptoms that I was dealing with was this feeling of throat tightening. So if I ate a food that I was sensitive to, anything with vinegar in it, like sourdough or kimchi, any of those kind of fermented foods, I would have facial flushing. And also, I would feel like my throat was tightening, and that was really scary. And actually, that caused me a lot of mental anguish, anxiety, because having panic attacks, feeling, oh gosh, am I like having anaphylactic shock or something? Because I tend to kind of spiral in my thought processes when I'm not feeling well anyway. So even not having to take antihistamines because of that to deal with that, I don't have that anymore. I don't have the facial flushing to the same extreme. I still get it a bit, and I don't get the throat tightening. So my whole sense of safety, I don't have to worry about, oh gosh, if I eat this, I might feel like I'm going to die. And I don't feel that way anymore. So it's been massive. And it's all been thanks to you, Ashling, because nobody else has been able to break down what protocol to follow, to what foods to avoid, what foods to bring in, what not just foods, but also lifestyle changes like going to bed earlier, having calmer evenings, sleep hygiene. many things. There's so many things in Thrive that I can't even list them off here because we'd be here all day. But I'm so happy that we have a whole year to dive into all your materials because I'm the type of person who takes a long time to implement changes. On the one hand, because my body is so sensitive that when I bring in new things, I have to see how it goes. But also because I just as a my personality, I like to take my time with things and chip away at them over time. So it's great that we have access for a full year, and I'm looking forward to keep on going on this journey of learning how to look after myself.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. And it's such an honor to hear your experience and how it's helped you. It's just, yeah, I'm like so grateful to be on this journey with you. How did Thrive help you and your children's health?
Yeah, so my kids have come along with me, and certain foods that you advised to cut out of our diets and certain foods to bring into the diet, they are also doing that. And we're also focusing on hydration, and they drink celery juice. We're all having more vegetables, and also there's been supplements. I mean, I have a pretty good toolbox already because my kids are older than a lot of the mothers that are doing Thrive. So my kids are 8 and 12, and I've been looking at the natural path this whole time because it's a real area of interest for me. So I have a pretty good toolkit, but there's definitely things that I could add to deal with certain things that crop up. So, like golden seal wasn't part of my regimen, so that I've been using that quite a bit to deal with things that pop with the kids. It's been more for my own health because I really believe that to be, I really believe in the oxygen mask principle, that you really have to look after your own health first, put on that oxygen mask in order to be a good mother, to take care of the kids, because you can't look after them if you're absolutely wrecked.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's why the first focus is on the mum. You know, the mother's health is like the foundation really of the
yeah.
home, and you know, being able to have the capacity to care for your children really comes from your own health. So that's really good. So what would you say is your favorite part of the Thrive experience?
Um, there's so much good stuff. It's hard to say, but I absolutely love the coaching calls. They were so good. It was great to get the chance to speak to you one on one and get that personalized support, but also to hear other people's journeys, what's going on with them, and you realize, okay, I'm not the only person struggling with these issues. This is quite a commonplace situation for mothers. Adrenal fatigue is actually really common. Um, and just to also share my progress, how I hope that that had helped other mothers feel that they were getting confirmation of the changes that we were making, that they were the right way to go, because I was sharing I'm off antihistamines, you know things like my cellulite's gone down, and just changes in my body as well, and my mental health, that I'm feeling more energy, um I'm feeling better about myself, sharing all that stuff and getting feedback from the other mothers, such a supportive bunch of women. And yeah, it was really nice to be in
Mm,
a group like that.
yeah,
I wish it
absolutely.
could go on longer.
I know. Actually, I heard from one mother who had watched back one of the replays that you were sharing your experience, and she was so inspired by you. She was just like, I want to go and do the cleanse, and I can't wait to dive in after hearing Naomi's story. So, you know, that's why, you know, having like the mother circle, that real like sisterhood support of other mothers in Thrive, I think is so important because we actually do need each other on this journey, you know, and yeah, so good to hear how that supported you in the process. And I've heard from other mothers, they're like, I wish it continued also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. When it
so
comes
good.
back, I'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So would you recommend Thrive to other mothers out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I was saying, adrenal fatigue is just so common, and I just want other mothers to realize it's not normal to feel exhausted and drained in your motherhood journey. And Ashling is just so knowledgeable, and just to have that guide to bring you along and help you feel empowered and knowledgeable in dealing with your children's health, with your own health. It's just fantastic to have somebody like that. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it to, because I see so many women walking around and they're so fatigued, they're just pushing through, living on caffeine, and they feel like they have to take so much responsibility on for the whole family and that they've no choice. And in the end, they're the ones who are suffering with their health. It's just so common. And I'm just so happy to have done Thrive and to have reconnected with you, Aisling, and feel so much better in myself. And I know that I haven't done, I've done maybe 50% of what's been recommended so far, maybe less. And I'm so excited to continue on with the materials and to incorporate more changes. And I know my health is going to get better and better. I feel hope. I actually have a sense of hope now. I didn't have that before because I was going from person to person and not getting answers. And just to get the answers and to be have my hand held along the way and shown there's a path to follow and feeling better all the time. It's just been wonderful. And yeah, hopeful is the word I would use. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Naomi. I'm like, this is why I do what I do.
I know. And you're
Thank
great
you.
at it.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
no
Thanks a
problem.
million.